So I got a real heavy one to start the night off.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
I was listening to a podcast earlier in the week,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about the racial wealth gap. So I don't
Mm,
know, are you familiar with that concept and that term?
definitely.
Kind of tell me what you know and what it means to you.
Uh, basically, the white, black, Hispanic. There's a big gap as far as household accounts, assets, things of that nature. It's just been a big gap compared to them. Like for instance, um, as far as assets goes, in July, I think black people were like at what was it,
I
six
got the number.
dollars? It was like $6 compared to $100 for every white person or something like that. But that was
Oh,
back in
okay.
July.
Yeah, got you, got
That
you.
was back in
Well, I
July.
mean
So
that's still based on how it's calculated. I mean, you between July and now, I mean, you won't expect a significant switch one way or the other. So I mean, that's still a good number to use.
right.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. You got it. So I was looking at it, and I actually was looking at a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, happened to catch it on accident. It was real short, like a mini documentary on Netflix when it talks about it.
Okay.
And a couple numbers that they talked about was they said the net worth of the average. No, they used the median, and I like the median better than the average because the average can be skewed one way or the other
Correct.
by some. If you got a whole bunch of billionaires, that throws the median up. So that messes. I mean the average up. So
Mm-hmm.
with the median income of the black family is seven net worth. I'm sorry, the median net worth of a black family is $17,600,
Okay.
and then the median net worth of the average white family, or the typical, I won't say average white family, is $171,600. So
Sheesh.
there's a big disparity between the two, and so I went on to detail those, and it talks about a couple of things, and I kind of go through them piece by piece, and you can kind of give me your thoughts as we're going through it.
Okay.
So the first thing they talked about was kind of like right after slavery,
Mm-hmm.
talking 40 acres and a mule and all that jazz, and
That we never got.
the things that we were promised as a people
Mm-hmm.
that would have been significant to that wealth accumulation
Right.
that we never got. So I mean, what do you think about like that? And then I kind of tell you what I was thinking.
Basically, as far as the economic standpoint goes, back in that time frame, we ran it. It was us. We built everything. We grew everything. It was just us, and they didn't want us to have that power because they looked at us
Mm-hmm.
as monkeys or some kind of animals that's stupid. When in actuality, we were some of the smartest people out there. I mean, just speaking on slavery for a second, I know I'm kind of off topic, but that takes some intelligence to sing your escape route while you're picking cotton. You know what I'm saying? To
Right.
braid the map into your hair and stuff like that. Like they feared us then. They didn't
Right. I
want
mean,
us to be on the same level as them.
you even think about like in Brazil, capoeira, and I'm sure you're familiar with what that is.
Mm-hmm.
They developed a whole martial art to kick that ass,
Right.
but made it like a dance, so you wouldn't know any better.
Right.
So you're right about that. I mean, that takes brilliance and ingenuity, and I mean, you even look at when we did get the opportunity to get those resources together. You get situations like Tulsa and different
Yeah.
areas throughout the country that
Mm-hmm.
are very similar.
Definitely. Definitely. And it that played a small role in my opinion, the beginning of our division as a people.
Oh yeah,
We're
let me
gonna
say that.
pick. We're not gonna give this slave family nothing, whatever. But this slave family right here could still come work for the master, make 25 cents, and lord it
Mm-hmm.
over your broker neighbor. You know what I'm saying? Further causing our division, because since slavery, it's been division, and the wealth gap, in my opinion, has a lot. As far as our part, has a little bit to do with us self sabotaging, if you
Sure,
will.
sure. I'll get there. I kind of wanted to when I was thinking about it, is I was looking at it to kind of from post slavery to now.
Okay.
So I was kind of looking at it, and then I was looking at the when you think of your net worth,
Mm-hmm.
your and for those that don't know, no judgment, it's all good. When we're talking net worth, what we're talking about is you take all your assets, everything that you own that has monetary value, and you subtract all of your debts, so and or liabilities, anything that you owe money to, that car payment, that student loan, that how that mortgage, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be how your net worth is calculated. And if you got any questions about how to do that, I can send you. I can link something. Just leave it in the comments, and if you're really interested, I can help you out with that. I'm no accountant or anything like that, but if people want to learn something and I got it, I'm all for sharing it. So
Yeah, you
just
definitely helped me.
drop a comment, hit us up on Instagram, let us know, and we can talk about that. But so when they were talking about like the housing in the past,
Mm-hmm.
it was hard for us to, and this was even from the documentary that I was just watching, is they talked about it was hard for a black family to get a house, and it was hard for them to get home loans, and it was hard for them to get insured for that for the house,
Mm-hmm.
because they would have it in areas, quote unquote, black areas, and they wouldn't want to insure that because they would consider that risky,
Mm-hmm.
and so because of that they couldn't get houses. And they had a story from Cory Booker on there, and he was saying that like when his dad was trying to find a house, um, every house they would go to with the realtor, they wouldn't show him the house, or they wouldn't make the deal. They wouldn't accept the offer. So
Mm-hmm.
what he ended up doing was having a white family go. The offer was accepted, and when it was closing time, his dad showed up, with the lawyer in tow, like, "Hey, thanks for the house." And
Nice.
and the other side was pissed off. They actually, he said, according to the story, he punched the lawyer.
Dang.
So so you got to a brawl and they got ugly. So if you think about like that, and you think about how houses are passed down, and you think about a house, like think about the people in California that bought a house back in the day
Mm-hmm.
for like 50K, 100K, something like that, and it's worth $1 million now, easy. And think about that kind of wealth transfer. And then they talked about what is it, the subprime lending back in '08.
Now,
You familiar with
subprime
that?
lending. What is that exactly?
So it's basically where what they were doing back then is everybody could get a home loan. It
Mm-hmm.
was like I think it was called uh Ninja loans was part of it.
Okay.
No income, no job, or something like that. I forgot exactly what it, but I think it was Ninja. No income, no job. So you didn't have to prove anything as far as your house. So like when we bought our house in 2010, we had to show like income for the past, I think 6 months, any large movements of income deposits in our bank account, any significant debt, any new debt. We had to justify all that kind of stuff. But back then it was like, oh, you want this house? Great. And they didn't care if like you couldn't afford it. And what they would do is they would have what they would call a variable interest rate loan.
Mm-hmm.
And so what was happening, and for those that this is getting a little boring, I kind of geek out about this sometimes, but so bear with me. I get to the point. Um, they you would start with a real cheap payment, and then as the years go on, your payment will balloon and balloon and balloon and balloon and
Mm-hmm.
balloon, whereas you couldn't afford it at the end. So people were like walking away from their houses. So that amount of black home ownership was kicked out on that too. And if you ever pay attention to the news, sometime there's certain banks, Wells Fargo in particular, they settled for a lawsuit where they were saying that they were targeting uh, blacks primarily to give them these subprime loans. They would even go through the churches and try to get them. So what do you think about that, man?
Basically, just to sum it up, man, that's why financial literacy is so important.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't know, you'll go in there. Oh man, that's a good deal. Cool, I got
Yeah,
that. Oh,
yeah.
my mortgage is going up. My taxes is going up, and then because you don't know better, and that's one of the other problems in our community is financial literacy
You
because
just trying to get there, man.
we don't
You
know.
just
I'm
won't.
my bad, man. It's just,
You won't let me tell
I'm a,
paint the scene, man.
I'm
I'm over
my.
here
Hey
trying to
man, my bad. I had the roller,
paint
man.
the
Let me put the
house.
roller down, bro. My
I'm over
bad.
here
My bad.
trying
You
to
got the
paint the
brush.
house and shit, and you
But
trying to hang pictures up already.
well, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it right there. That's what I think about it. Is our lack of financial literacy in most cases. They try to take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. So another piece, and this is where I disagree with the documentary, is they talked about college educated black people versus college educated white people,
Mm-hmm.
and they talked about how the average white person that graduates from school um, while they may earn similar incomes, their net worth as a result is different. So where the average white family has a positive, and I didn't get that number, the average white family has a black family, I'm sorry, has a negative net worth. And so you're thinking, you college educated, you got a good job. How in the hell do you have a negative net worth? And that's some crazy shit. So what they were talking about is the guy was saying some shit about, you know, because black people are, you know, they may be the first one in their family with a good job, so they're more inclined to lend money out. And I was like, that's partially true, but what I think it's different because I remember growing up, and you probably heard it too, and I was talking to Kim about it, is you were always told, oh, you can never have too much education. Get as much education as you can, which in some ways I agree with that. Learn as much as you can, but don't get student loan. I mean, I know a couple people with like multiple doctorate degrees with hundreds of $1,000s in student loan debt
that you'll be paying
and
until you damn near retired.
you pay until you die. And because of that, you don't have any freedom and you can't do what you want to do.
Right.
And so now that we've talked about student loans, we've talked about hindrance in slavery, we've talked about, you know, houses and everything else.
Wow.
Now let's talk about, and I was thinking about it. I don't want to complain because I'm not that kind of person. I'm here. I fix problems. So I was thinking about, so how do we fix that? How do we close those gaps and fix those numbers? And now you can talk about what you were thinking, little brother.
No, going back to the financial literacy, first of all, you know what I'm saying? You got to learn what simple concept of asset and, like you said, net worth. A lot of people don't know what net worth is. Honestly, I didn't know the true definition of net worth until you said something. So educating ourselves to that aspect is extremely important. The other thing I'm going to say, man, is lift your brother up or your sister up. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? It's, I got to get there before they got to get there. Or I got to get this promotion before they get this promotion. I got to do better than this one. We're competing. And that's something the others don't do. They don't compete as much. I ain't going to say they don't do it at all. But it's like we're constantly at each other's throats to get ahead. You know what I mean?
I was listening to something, and I had to challenge you on that. I don't think the level of competition is different at all.
Okay.
I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, you think about some of those people that you hear about white collar crime and, you know, those executives. That's competitive. That's greed. That's all of that stuff. So I don't think it's any different. I think kind of related to your point is, you know, we tend to try to kick those that are below us and not kick those that are above us. You know what I'm saying? And instead of working together, we're like, oh, and that's why I do agree with you, is that we're kicking down, but not trying to kick up and fight.
And I see that type of thing all the time. They'll step on the lower person, but when it comes to the higher person, they'll just sing and dance. And, yes, sir, you want me to pour your coffee, sir? Anything for you, sir. I'm just like, but help this man right here to get to your level so you can elevate yourself. So he know what a good role model looks like. Kind of like how you do for me.
Here we go again. Message.
It's been a long day. But no, it's kind of like how you did for me, man. And honestly, I feel like it starts with our generation. We're in our 30s, you know what I'm saying? So we're not at that gap where we're just about to retire and be done. We're at that age where we can still build.
Speak for yourself.
A foundation. I got a few years. You got a couple less than I do, but still. But you know, we're in the game right now, building this foundation off the knowledge that we know now to pass that knowledge on to our kids so they can build more on the foundation we build and, you know, get that generational wealth thing going. And I will say, especially our people, I see it on Facebook all the time. Shout out to you, you hustlers out there with your waist beads and your lip gloss and all the other stuff. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. But we're starting to do that now. We're teaching our kids how to be entrepreneurs. We're teaching them how to save and invest and everything like that. So I think it's going to start with us and carry on with the next generation. And therefore, I say maybe 2 or 3 generations down the line from ours, that's when the productivity, the the seed that we planted to finally grow. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So thinking about that, and I agree with everything you just said. The one caveat I'll add to that is all those folks out there hustling and got those side hustles, got those businesses that you see on Facebook. One, everybody support them.
Definitely.
Two, if you got those businesses, be sure to save and invest.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna show you something I was doing. I was messing with the compound interest calculator, which what that'll show is how much you put in an investment, how much it'll grow over time.
Mm.
And compound interest, once you start looking into it, is a motherfucker, man. I mean, that once you start looking at it, it changes your life. So,
Right.
for example, the average income of a white family is $171,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
Net worth. I just did some rough calculations. If you invested $100 a month for the next 30 years,
At what age?
I don't care about your age. I said the next 30 years. So if you're 30,
Okay.
from now until you're 60.
Okay.
If you're 40, from now until you're 70. If you're
Gotcha.
20, from now until you're 50.
Mm-hmm.
If you invested just $100 a month, your net worth, not counting house, just the value of your investments, assuming an average interest rate, you're looking at about $180,000.
Now, what would be an average interest rate?
Usually calculations say anywhere from 7 to 10%. A lot of people use 10. I use 7 just to be a little more conservative.
Mm-hmm. And
but thinking about that is that $100 though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how much do we waste hundreds of dollars a month buying stupid shit?
Oh, plenty.
And think about it, if you take half, not even all,
Mm-hmm.
you could put that and be in such a better place.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not a millionaire yet, but
keyword. That's right.
But
let me hold
it's eye opening. It's eye opening. One day. Hell no. You know what? No. I'm gonna
be getting millions right next to you, big bro.
You will, and I'm proud of you for that.
Yes,
but
sir.
Little story. Back in the day when Kevin was first starting out, Kevin was trying to do his thing, taking care of his kids. He's a young father, and I was like, you know what? No worries. You need a phone to talk to your kids. You'll just be under my plan. And you remember this, don't you?
Hey man, ringtones was popping back then, bro.
No, it wasn't even ringtones. You over there, when text used to be 10 cents a text after you met your limit. And so I look at the bill, and his ass got $200 of text messages on my phone. And I was like, you know what? Cut this off. So that's why he ain't getting no more money from me. I will never lend you $1.
Dang, Mister.
If you know where that's from, leave it in the comments.
Yes,
Let us
sir.
know.
Show your age on that.
That's right. And that means good music.
Yep. Definitely.
But looking at it is just that simple. I mean, $100 can close that gap and make that number irrelevant. Yeah. Is that the number that you want to say that's my goal and that's what I aspire to? No. But it at least changes the conversation. If we never get reparations, if nothing's ever handed to us, this is how we can do it ourselves. Yeah. And that's what I'm all about. Yeah. If I get a reparations check, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna be happy for it.
Yes, sir.
But I'm not gonna be sitting on my hands waiting for it. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get what I need. So for everybody out here listening, if you don't take anything away from what we talked about so far, do that, please.
Yeah.
Put a little money aside.
It ain't gotta be $100.
Just a little bit.
It ain't gotta be $100.
Just start. Get in the habit. I mean, you can invest $10, $20. Just nowadays, like Robinhood and shit like that. I mean, just start. I am not an investment professional. I just do a little bit. So learn all you can. I mean, and like Kevin's been trying to say all night,
I have.
Financial education is important. And just to throw a little bit out there. So I read a book called The Racial Wealth Gap, which kind of talks about the differences and kind of the factors that contribute to it. Mm-hmm. And actually, it's hard to read. I mean, it's a hard read, but it's eye-opening.
So name a couple.
As far as books,
the reasons for the the race gap.
I mean, they talk
gap.
about the things that we've talked about. So, student loan debt, not having access to home loans and land, having access to land, um, crime, and certain statistics that work against us. Some of it was like, oh, woe is me, you poor people, you can't do anything right. But some of it was numbers and facts. So you can take that shit and throw it out the door and do what you got to do.
We can do it, guys.
We sure can. We sure
Just
can.
a little bit of discipline and perseverance, baby. We can do it.
That's all it takes. And another book, and I'll try to link these in the description, so you can pick them up. Two that I recommend for everybody, if you have no clue where to start, check out Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover. And I can't remember the guy's name. The book's upstairs somewhere. Is I'll Teach You to Be Rich. Nothing complicated, nothing that anybody can't do.
Right.
And it's good stuff. So, all right, that's my college lecture for the day.
I wouldn't say it was a college lecture, man. That was very educational, man, and the people needed it.